Hey, welcome back to Triple C, Candace's College Cooking, where I have the privilege of teaching you, the 20-something crowd, the basics and hacks of cooking, as well as how to impress your friends, roommates, or even a date with restaurant-worthy creations. As you scroll through my episodes, you've probably noticed a bit of a theme, a Mexican theme. Two reasons. First, I'm from Texas, and we ate Tex-Mex literally 2 times a week growing up. Second, I worked as a server and a bartender at a Mexican restaurant for several years while I was in college. This is where I learned to cook many of the Mexican and/or Tex-Mex dishes I still serve today. Today, I'm going to show you how to make chicken quesadillas. But as usual, I have a couple of hacks to make it super easy and super quick. We already broke down a roast chicken in the Yeah, I Got Roast Chicken episode. Oh, and I mentioned roast chicken, and you know who comes a-walking, or sniffing actually, shall we say. Okay, time to dive into the chicken quesadillas. We're gonna start with canned green enchilada sauce, okay? And I prefer green over red, but if you really want to, you can go with red as well, no big deal. You can certainly buy it in a smaller can than this. This is about $2.50. It's in the Hispanic section of your grocery store or Walmart. And I keep mine, I open it, I use part of it, leave it in the fridge, but honestly, in a separate container, put it in a Tupperware because it'll go bad if it's sitting in a can. But it only lasts for about a week, so you really have to kind of, go quickly with that. The next thing we need is cheese. You can go in a couple of different directions on the cheese. I like cheddar and Mojack combo, but my favorite is pepper jack. I don't have any pepper jack today, so I'm gonna go ahead and use the cheddar Mojack combo. The last piece of the puzzle, of course, is flour tortillas. You need a couple of flour tortillas. I go with kind of a medium size, not the big burrito size. That, in my opinion, is a little too large for a quesadilla. I have those in the freezer all the time, so I have them at the ready, but you can keep them in the fridge. They last for a couple of weeks if you don't want to freeze them. Okay, so we got our pan going on medium heat. Let's get some oil in the pan. You can use any kind of oil that you want. I'm using olive oil just because that's what I have at the ready. You can also use that bacon grease that you've got stored if you want to do that. You could also, of course, use some butter if you want. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're going to throw our chicken into the saute pan because we wanna go ahead and get this warmed up. And I'm gonna use about 1/4 cup of the green enchilada sauce. All right, and we're just gonna get that heated up. Once it comes up to temp, go ahead and just put it back in the bowl that it came from. Make sure you got enough oil in your pan. Make sure your pan is pretty hot, but not smoking hot. Okay, so it looks like my pan is good and hot. Here's how you create the quesadilla. Take 1 flour tortilla, put it down in your hot pan, your hot skillet. Now layer on whatever cheese you want. Again, I'm gonna use cheddar and Mojack. Put that down first. We're kind of making a Mexican grilled cheese with some chicken in it. Of course, if you want to make it vegan or vegetarian, if you want to make it vegetarian, you can certainly leave out the chicken and just go with cheese. All right, now we're going to pour the chicken that we just warmed up, again, from our roast chicken that we bought pre-cooked, and a little bit of green enchilada sauce. Spread that out just a little bit. Now we're gonna layer on some more cheese. And again, use as much cheese as you enjoy. I personally like it super melty with lots of cheese. All right, give it a little pat, pat, pat. And then we're gonna put on our next tortilla. You're gonna wanna let this sit for probably about a minute, minute and a half before we flip it over. So I don't normally cover the quesadilla when it's on its first side, but if it seems like it's not coming together very well, you can certainly cover it now, and then we'll cover it again when we flip it. Okay, looks like it's about time to flip the quesadilla. I use my fish spatula, which I basically use as a spatula for everything, and another something to brace when you flip. You're gonna wanna flip away from you. You wanna use the spoon, the wooden spoon, to kind of keep the lid on, if you will, and then over we go. Now I'm gonna go ahead and cover because I wanna make sure all of that cheese gets good and melty and ready to go for when I eat it. Okay, so it's been about another minute. I think our quesadilla is ready to come out of the pan. Don't forget to shut off the heat. And just put it out on a board. Now look, I've got a little bit extra stuff, and I certainly don't want that to go to waste. So I'm gonna go ahead and just stick it on my pan, on my plate. Okay, so you wanna let the quesadilla sit for probably about 30 seconds or so, because if you cut it when it's super hot, it's not gonna cut well. Okay, so it's been about 30 seconds. Let's go ahead and cut the quesadilla. And what you do is you basically want to cut it into 4s, or you can cut it into 6s, but we're going to cut it into 4s. So have a pretty sharp knife, go down the middle first, rotate it slightly, and then through on the other side. Let me show you how I would plate it up. So you can stack your quesadillas to make kind of a pretty presentation here. Again, we don't want to let any of that goodness go to waste. And then I would top it with a good dollop of sour cream. And then, of course, I have some guac from Girls Just Want to Have Guac. And we'll put a big scoop of that on top. And then if you want it super spicy, let me tell you about this. This is called chipotle salsa. Again, if you get it at Walmart, you can get it for a couple bucks. If you buy it online, it's gonna cost you up to $8. It's super spicy, but absolutely delicious on any sort of Mexican food. You can even eat it with chips if you're brave enough. So, I hope you will enjoy some quesadillas with me. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe to my channel. Like and share on social. And remember, to share a meal is to share a life. I hope you'll watch the next episode. Have an awesome day.